Hi, fifth graders. So, welcome back from spring break. And we talked to a few of you guys this morning during office hours. Remember, our office hours are Mondays and Wednesdays, and there's a Teams meeting link that you can find in your homeroom folder. And that way you can join us for any time between 10 and 12 if you have questions or if you need help with anything. It can be on your writing or your math or your reading or your science, anything at all. So this week we're going to be finishing up the Heroes project. So it's due on Monday the 27th. And we are going to figure out a way for you guys to share them as well so that you guys can see each other's, just like we would have done if we were at school. We would have had the big kind of like a museum of famous heroes for everybody to walk through, and then you would have been presenting your hero to the different people who come and visit your presentation, your trifold presentation. So you still will have the opportunity if you want to make a trifold. You can do that. I'm going to show you guys how to do that later this week. Or you can just stick with the PowerPoint if that's what you decided. Or if you just want to put everything you've done together into a booklet, that's another way you can present your final product. So today we're going to talk about revising and editing your essay. So hopefully you had some time to type out your essay from the graphic organizers that you had in your packet. And this is a lot of writing, so if you need some help from somebody who is a faster typer than you are, then that's totally fine. Someone else can type a little bit of your essay for you to kind of help speed it along. But what we want is for you to be reading through your whole essay for revisions and for editing. So editing is super simple because we edit for capital letters, for spelling, for grammar, and for punctuation. And all of those things are going to show up on Microsoft Word. So if you do a spell check and you'll see any misspelled words are highlighted with that little red zigzaggy line in your document. That's how you can find spelling mistakes, and then everything else is going to show up as a blue zigzaggy line. It's either a grammar mistake or a punctuation mistake or a capitalization mistake. So editing your paper is going to be super easy because the computer is going to help you with that. But revising is what you have to do yourself with the help of an older sibling or a friend or a parent. We want somebody else to read your writing too. It's super helpful to read your writing out loud, because if you read your writing out loud, you can hear what it sounds like, and your brain won't automatically fill in places that are mistakes, because that's what our brains do, that when we read something silently. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is transitions, because we really worked on building transitional words and phrases into your writing, and then also doing those transitional links between paragraphs. So those were the ones where you kind of summed up one paragraph and then introduced the next paragraph in that same sentence. So those are called transitional links. And then within your whole piece of writing, you're going to have transitional words and phrases. So this morning, Mr. Voigt and Miss Nasifa and I were just brainstorming some of our favorite transitional words and phrases. And these are kind of all mixed up. We just kind of like popcorned them out. And some of them are used for introducing new information or adding on to information. Some of them are used to conclude or to sum up a bunch of information. So they're all kind of mixed up. But we're going to look at this page, and hopefully you already watched the little video that I put on the assignment. It was kind of goofy with that like Viking or whatever, but it was a really good information. And then with all of this information and seeing how I do part of my essay, hopefully you'll be able to add some transitional words and phrases into your writing, okay? Also remember, when you are revising, you want to make sure you have complete sentences and that your sentences have different sentence starters. And so I'm going to go through that too while I'm revising today. So some of the most common transitional words you guys already use a lot, like first, next, then, last. You guys do this a lot. You do it when you're speaking, you do it when you're writing, you do it when you are giving directions to something, when you're telling stories. So those are really good ones. Really easy, really good transitional words to put into your writing. Finally is another way to wrap up your writing. These words are more for adding something else, okay? So furthermore, in addition, also, as well as, likewise, as a matter of fact. Those are all ways that you can give flow to your writing as you're adding more details about your hero. And then there are transitional phrases to when something's different, right? So in contrast, contrast means that it's different. It's almost like the opposite. On the other hand, and then there's other ones that kind of sum everything up. After all, in conclusion, to sum it up, in summary, as you can see, all things considered, as shown above. So these are all some of our favorite transitional words and phrases that are the most common that we kind of see a lot of students using. I also attached a document to the assignment that has a big list of them. And then there's also another document that I think is linked that Mr. Voigt found that has a lot of transitions. So you can look at those too. So now here's where we're going to be a little bit low tech, because I'm just gonna turn this around so that you can see my computer. We'll see how well this works. Just like I did last time, because you know that's just so fun. Oh, and of course it turned off. Okay, and I'm actually just gonna go to this. We'll see how this works. Okay, it's not really working so far. Let's see. I'm gonna just do this. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Okay, so when I have my writing, I started out by saying The Wonderful Life of Stevie Wonder. Pretty fun. So clever, Mrs. Landschuls. And then I put my name by Shelley Landschuls. Okay, so I'm only going to do a little bit of my essay. I'm not going to do the whole thing. You're going to notice, though, when I typed this out, I chose a font that is really easy to read. It's pretty boring. It's just like the automatic one, but it's really easy to read. Some of the fonts that you can choose are really cool looking, but then if it's really hard to read, no one is going to read your paper. It's just going to be too hard. And people don't typically do something that's too hard. So you want to make sure that it's big enough. And I actually picked to space it out up here. So right up here, I picked to space it out 1.5 spaces. So it would give me a nice spacing so that it's easy to read. And I put it in 14 font right there. Okay, and that, I feel like that made it pretty easy to read. So mine says, I'm sure you've heard of the great musician Stevie Wonder, but how much do you really know about him? And I'm hearing when I'm reading this that I want this to be like, really know about him. So maybe right there, maybe what I would do is go back and highlight that and make it like bold and underlined, or bold and italicized maybe. And that makes it really stick out, so that makes the reader be like, really know about him. Stevie Wonder was a musician popular in the 1960s through today. He was also, ooh, there's a transition word right there, also a humanitarian. I can also, if I want to, I can say, in addition, he was a humanitarian, if I wanted to start that in a different way, that sentence. He once said, we can end extreme poverty in our lifetime because together we can work it out and we will reach our higher ground. Stevie Wonder became a musician at a young age, inspired many people with his music, and helped others through activism and charities. So that's my thesis. Okay, now, this is my first paragraph that gives information about Stevie Wonder. So I can start this off instead of with Stevie Wonder. I can start this off with a transitional word or phrase. I could start it off with first, or I could say in introduction, something like that. I think I'm just going to put first. First works, okay? And that's going to change because a lot of my sentences start with Stevie Wonder. It's like Stevie Wonder, he, Wonder, Stevie Wonder, instead of starting with a different type of sentence. So I'm going to just go like this, and I'm going to put in first. I'm going to put a comma after it too. First, Stevie Wonder had a big family and a natural talent despite his challenges. Stevie Wonder was born on May 13th, 1950 in Saginaw, Michigan. His original name was Stevland Hardaway Judkins. He was the third of 6 children by Lula Mae Hardaway and Calvin Judkins. Wonder was born 6 weeks early with a condition called retinopathy of prematurity. This is a funny, I'm going to come back, even though this right here, he got too much oxygen in his incubator, which caused his blindness. Even though it doesn't show me that that's a grammar error, it just sounds weird. So I think I'm going to change it to received. And I feel like that sounds a little bit better. And see, like when I read it out loud, that's when I figured out that didn't sound really quite right to me. Stevie Wonder moved from Saginaw to Detroit as a small child. He sang in his church choir in Detroit, and he also taught himself to play piano, harmonica, and drums by age 10. So I already have the word also. I think I'm going to change this part. So I think I'm going to go over here, and I think I'm going to put, in addition, he. Okay, so he sang in his church choir in Detroit. In addition, he taught himself to play piano, harmonica, and drums by age 10. Okay, I like this because I said with his strong family and musical gift, that's what this whole paragraph is about. Then I go to introduce the next paragraph. It is no surprise that Stevie Wonder entered the music industry. Okay, so maybe if I'm going to keep going with this like first, next, and finally, so maybe I'll do next here. So next, Stevie Wonder's musical career began at a young age and has spanned decades with numerous hits and albums. Stevie Wonder met Ronnie Williams from The Miracles and Berry Gordy Jr. from Motown called him Little Stevie Wonder. That doesn't make sense. Stevie Wonder met Ronnie Williams from The Miracles and Berry Gordy Jr. from Motown. I think I'm going to put a period here. And let's see if I can use a transition. Let's see. I don't know if a transition would go there. But I can either put a comma here, and they called him Little Stevie Wonder. He made 2 albums and had the hit single Fingertips Part 2 when he was 14 years old. This is a grammar error. And what I could do is I can go up to review. And so I'm right here at review, and I can go to spelling and grammar. And it says, oh, I don't need a dash between years and old. So I'm just going to click on that, and I'm going to change it. Oh, and this is spelled incorrectly, so I'm going to fix that too. Oh, and I look, you guys didn't even catch that. I bet I said wonderful instead of wonderful. That's just a typo. And then Stevland is actually how his name is spelled, so I'm going to just ignore that. Okay, and see, that's complete. I thought I got all of my spelling and grammar, but I didn't, so I'm glad I checked that. Okay, so I'm going to go back down here, okay, and I fixed years old. Okay, so then I have a transition here. He then started writing songs for other singers like Ray Charles. So that's a pretty good transition because it shows what happened next. So now here I say Stevie Wonder made 23 studio albums, 4 live albums, 11 compilation albums, and 3 soundtrack albums throughout his music career. So I might say, I could say, like in total, like that. And that would be a good transition right there. On the Billboard music charts, he is number 8 on the list of 100 artists with the most number 1 hits. Okay, and then here is my transitional link right here. Wonder worked hard and achieved so much in his music, which is what this is about, and then the next paragraph, but he also focused on humanitarian acts and charity work. And here I have also, again, so I can use likewise, or instead of but he also, I can say, let's see, I can say, likewise, he focused on humanitarian acts and charity. Likewise. There we go. Okay, and then it's telling me that that is not right. So let's go up and check that and see what it says. Nope, it's not complete because I've got a red line. So let's, oh, it's saying that it's complete. Let's see. Let's highlight this and say, why is that? Yes, I do want to check that. No, that's very strange. I wonder if I put a comma. Ooh, it needed a comma right there. Likewise, he focused on humanitarian acts and charity work. See, sometimes you just have to problem solve it, and then you can find out what's up. Okay, now our next one. This is our last. So you could do then, or thirdly, or I'm gonna say finally. Oops. Stevie Wonder dedicated his life to civil rights, helping those with disabilities and raising money for charity. Stevie Wonder met Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King at a rally when Wonder was 15 years old. When MLK was killed 3 years later, that's a good transition right there, Wonder fought for decades to make his birthday a national holiday. So right here, he wrote the song Happy Birthday. Okay, so here's a really good one where I can say like an in addition type more. I could say furthermore, he wrote the song Happy Birthday. So I'm going to put that. Furthermore, he wrote the song Happy Birthday to celebrate Martin Luther King. Stevie Wonder served on many committees, including... so I feel like the transition needs to go here. So how about as well? Stevie Wonder served on many committees as well, including President's Committee on Employment of People with Disabilities, Children's Diabetes Foundation, Junior Blind of America, and Wonder Vision Awards program. He also raised funds for Paralympics, AIDS, and the end of apartheid, and for blind children. President Obama awarded Wonder the Gershwin Award for Lifetime Achievement and the Presidential Medal of Freedom. So I could... Oh, this is a good one for as a matter of fact. Yes. As a matter of fact, President Obama awarded Wonder the Gershwin Award for Lifetime Achievement and the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Boom. That's a good way to end that paragraph. So now this is my final paragraph. So we are going to do the whole thing. Stevie Wonder became a musician at a young age, inspired many people with his music. And so I might want to do, not that. Sorry about that. Let's not do that or that. Okay, so right here I might want to say like in summary or in conclusion. Ooh, I like that. In conclusion. Stevie Wonder became a musician at a young age, inspired many people with his music, and helped others through activism and charities. Wonder learned a lot about music at a young age. He then had a successful music career. While making all this music, he also led and participated in many organizations and charities to help people facing challenges. I admire Stevie Wonder for what he has overcome and for the selfless acts he's done for others. We should all strive to be like Stevie Wonder. So I think I'm going to use as you can see. As you can see. Now make that lowercase. We should all strive to be like Stevie Wonder. I am pretty happy with that. I'm just going to go up one place. And something that that I want to think about is that Stevie Wonder is still alive. So I have to think about whether I'm using was or is. So like Stevie Wonder, he is a musician. So he's still a musician. He's still alive. He's still a humanitarian. So I'm going to want to go back and just make sure that, like he once said, he did that in the past. But like anything that's saying like something that describes him or his job, like I want to use is because he's still alive. If he was dead, then I would use was, or if he is not doing those things anymore. Okay, so that's something that I'm still going to revise for, right? But so before, like by Thursday, what we'd like you guys to do is go ahead and write, make sure you type out your whole essay. And then after you type it out, go through it either with a parent or an adult or an older sibling and try to figure out where you can put some of these transitional words and phrases, and also be checking for complete sentences, different starter sentences, and adding transitions is going to help you with that. And then also just making sure that your verb tense is the right one. So person's deceased, then it would be was. Person's still alive, it would be is, unless they're just not doing that anymore, then it's was. Okay? So good luck with everything, and we can't wait to read some of your writing. Bye, guys.